So what do you do when you feel like everything in life is against you? You're having like the worst luck ever. I feel like there's a dark cloud hanging over my head. You might be under a crossed condition, but don't worry, because I've got you covered with a great lemon and salt uncrossing spell coming up next. Hey guys, welcome to my Bewitched studio. If you love spells that use super easy ingredients that you can just get at the grocery store that you might already even have in your house, then definitely hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because this is what I'm all about. I've got lots of these. And then you will be among the first to know when I post a new video. I try to do a new one every week. And I have lots of good ones coming up. Today, I'm going to talk about what's a cross condition and how to get yourself out from under it, because it's not super hard once you realize what's going on. And we're going to be doing it with really easy to get stuff. So you don't have to have a bunch of crazy stuff or go down to the crossroads at midnight or anything like that. Let's keep it simple, okay? This is witch tested, witch approved. I have shared this spell with lots of my friends who have done it, and they feel the results immediately. So the very first time that I ever saw a lemon and salt uncrossing spell was in this book, and this is like super old school witchcraft book, Helping Yourself with White Witchcraft, also known to many of my witchy friends as the Manning book. So this dude is a hoot. And he is like super old school. When was this thing published anyway? I'm not saying it's old, like it's not from like the 1800s or something, but you know, it's like old school back when witchcraft was kind of getting its footing here in the United States. Okay, so 1972, dudes. Yeah, seriously. But anyway, that's one of the first places that I saw a lemon uncrossing spell. This is my version that I came up with because I'm just a girl that can't leave well enough alone. When I'm cooking in the kitchen, I can't leave well enough alone. I've always got to tinker with a recipe, and I'm the same way with spells. If I see a spell in a book, sometimes I'll take it right out of the book. Maybe the first time I do it. Nah, I really don't. Now that I'm thinking about it, I usually don't. I usually tinker with it. I like to substitute ingredients. I like to change the words so that it suits my situation better. This is just how I operate. And I highly recommend that you guys do the same thing. If you like the spells that I'm doing here, don't feel like you have to do them word for word the way that I have it. Don't feel like you can't substitute ingredients. Don't feel like you can't adjust it to fit your needs. I want you to do that. Using your creative mind is part of what witchcraft is all about. Let's talk about what is a crossed condition and when would you need to use an uncrossing spell. Being crossed means that you're surrounded by some baneful energies that are just kind of working against you. These are energies that seem to be stopping your success, standing in the way of everything that you're trying to do, basically throwing a monkey wrench into everyday aspect of your life. I mean, if you get up in the morning and you stub your toe, it doesn't mean that you are under a crossed condition. However, if you get up in the morning and you stub your toe and then you run into the thing and it knocks stuff on your head and your car breaks down and your internet goes out, you have communication breakdowns with people that you love, a branch falls through your car window, you've been tripping and falling all week long, you keep losing things, you keep dropping things, and this is a dead giveaway. If you have a piece of witchy jewelry that has broken or is lost that you specifically have charged for protection, that's a dead giveaway. And I've had stuff like this happen. One time when I was under a cross condition, I literally had an anklet that was made out of evil eye beads and it snapped. At a time when the universe was probably trying to warn me, hey dummy, this is a terrible idea. But I just proceeded anyway and chaos ensued. The last time that I was under a cross condition, you might have seen in some of my other videos, I have like a bracelet that I wear, which is, it's just like a long necklace on a stretchy cord, and I wore it all the time wrapped around my wrist, and that was black obsidian. It broke, but it broke after a whole bunch of other things, messed up things were happening, and then more messed up things happened after, and I was like, I think I might be crossed. Break out the salt and the lemons and take care of business. Now, the other thing that I want to let you know is, again, don't just decide that every single thing that goes wrong in your life is because you're crossed. It probably isn't. And sometimes when things go wrong, it's actually for a good reason. For instance, like say your alarm clock didn't work in the morning, and so you're late for work. But then when you're in your car and you're on your way to work, you notice there's a horrible car accident up ahead, and while you're sitting in your car, instead of, man, I can't believe I was already running late and now this happened, instead use your gratitude and thank the universe for keeping you from being in that accident, because had your alarm gone off on time and you had gotten out the door when you were supposed to, you might have been in the middle of that thing. So don't just assume that everything that goes wrong in life is because there is a magical cloud hanging over your head, because it's just not the case. But when the going gets tough and you feel like, man, there's just too many weird things happening in a row, do a little divination work. Get out your cards, use your pendulum, and try to get to the bottom of it and ask if you're crossed. If you are, it will become clear when you do your divination. When you think about a crossed condition, it might sound kind of scary, and then you wonder to yourself, how the hell did that happen? What, does that mean that somebody's out to get me or something? Not necessarily. It can. I am not going to stand here and tell you that there are only good witches in the world who never want to wish you harm, because, I mean, let's face it, that's a bunch of BS. Because people are people. And sometimes we might be misunderstood by others. People might be jealous. People might just be in a piss poor mood and they want to take it out on somebody, and you seem like an easy target, okay? But the truth is, it takes a lot of energy to throw curses around, and most people who are doing that kind of thing, they might be just better off, instead of doing that, to try to focus on trying to make their lives better, rather than cursing everybody that, you don't like the way they looked at you or something. It's like, get over yourself. But that being said, it can happen that way. So that is one of the ways that you can end up crossed. Probably a more likely scenario, though, than somebody like breaking out candles and henbane and whatever and deciding to cast a curse against you and like actively casting a curse or a hex. More likely what's happening is it's a case of, people not really meaning to send out bad vibes, but it's kind of like a inadvertent evil eye situation, like somebody that's jealous of you and they're just thinking bad thoughts in their head and, not really actively going after you, but they're just like, every time they see a post of you on Instagram, they're like, ugh, or, your next door neighbor that doesn't like the fact that your dog barks and stuff like that. So they're always like throwing at you. And it's not always necessarily a magic person that's doing it. It can be just, you pick up bad vibes sometimes. One of the other things that happens to get yourself in a crossed condition is sometimes we cross ourselves. Yes, boys and girls, you can cross yourself. And when that happens, don't get mad about it. It's just life, I'm not one of those people that believes in good vibes only, because the truth is we have our light side and we have our dark side. We have our, positive energy days. We have our days where we're feeling pretty down in the dumps, We all have our issues, Many of us have dealt with trauma in our lives. Many of us have dealt with toxic people in our lives. Those things can build up inside of us. Sometimes when you decide that it's time to release those things and try to move on, that can shake things loose in your energy field. And as those things start to come out, it can create a crossed condition, kind of feeling like it's undoing all the hard work that you're doing. But there's a solution to all of this. And all you need to do is just do an uncrossing, because that way you're doing that inside work, that internal work, that shadow work to kind of pull all of the stuff out and look at it that you need to look at, all the shadow side stuff, and try to accept it for what it is. Anything that's shaken loose or released during that process, just uncross that shit, and then you can move on, and it's not a big deal. If you see me at the grocery store and I have these items in my cart, you can guarantee that Mickey's had a little run of bad luck, but I'm on my way to take care of some business. And here's how I do it. All right, I'm just preparing my workspace. I've got a little incense ready to go so I can use it for clearing stuff. Okay, so easy ingredients. You need a lemon, and then you're gonna need some salt. You can use sea salt if you want to be fancy. I'm just using table salt. That's what I usually use for this spell. You can also use black salt if you prefer. And you're gonna need a knife. You're going to need a plate of some kind. It doesn't have to be as beautiful as this one. This was a gift from my sister, and I always use this one for my Lemon Uncrossing because I feel like it adds extra energy to the working. Make sure that you have peeled off any stickers that are remaining on your lemon. And then I like to actually cleanse my lemon in the smoke just to make sure that any leftover vibes from other people who were just handling it or whatever, you don't have to worry about any of that. You want to start from zero, with it. I usually do clear my plate as well, just because it's kind of there in the house, gathering whatever. So yeah, I usually just go ahead and clear my plate as well. Now you're going to grab your salt, and you're going to use a lot of salt for this spell, so don't be shy with the salt. I like to really cover that plate up with some salt to begin with. You're going to put a pretty good amount, kind of spread it out, make sure it's, spread out nice and evenly there on the plate. And then the next thing you're going to do is grab your lemon, and you're going to cut the ends off of that lemon. I'll show you how. You want that end to be exposed, and it will make sense later on why. So you want them to look just like that. Get rid of those little ends. You can just toss those, no big deal. Put them in your compost if you want. So the next thing you're gonna do is slice that lemon into 5 pretty much equal sized slices, as equal as you can get them. And there they are. Now you're going to take those slices and you're going to arrange them on your salt in the shape of a star. Now grab your knife, whether you're using a kitchen knife or one of your magical knives, and you're going to trace the shape of the star, the shape of the pentagram, right, into the air above your lemon. And then I like to finish it off with the circle to complete it. Now this activates it and brings power into it. Now here I'm charging up my hands, activating the chakras in my hands, because I'm going to be doing some work with my hands. I'm going to be using them to pull energy into these lemons. Now visualize the baneful energy all around you, within your aura, in every corner around your home and your life. As you hold your hands over the plate of lemon, move your hands down towards the lemon, over and over, creating a tide of energy to pull down any energy crossing you and capturing it in the lemon. As you do, chant the following incantation over and over until you feel all the negativity has been pulled in. All sour energies you can't resist, your hold over me shall now untwist. Draw to this lemon like a moth to flame, bound here by my will, trapped and lame. I usually repeat this quite a few times as I'm doing this, and I really work at it. I try to pull every little bit of energy into that lemon, everything that's crossing me. So I repeat it over and over and over and over until I feel like it's all working, like it's all trapped, and I feel like lighter. And then I know it's time to stop, and then I can go to the next step. So there's 2 incantations for this spell. I will be putting both of the incantations written out for you to use down below in the description box so that you can grab those if you want to use this spell yourself. Now you begin pouring salt all over the tops of those lemon slices. What this does is this seals in everything that you drew into those lemons. It seals it, it traps it there. Really cover it. Don't worry about wasting salt. You need it. Okay, and then you're going to charge it with this incantation to seal it. I am uncrossed. I am uncrossed. I seal you in with blessed salt. No escape for you, foul energy. As this lemon dries up, so I am free. So now you're going to put the plate someplace where it will remain undisturbed so that the salt can dry that lemon out. As it does, it basically just destroys all that crossed energy that's against you. This is what I like to do with mine. I kind of like to put it on the top of some books on a bookshelf where it's up out of the way. Nobody notices it there. It's usually kind of back in the shadows, so no big deal. And that's a good place for you to grab it and check it occasionally. If you want to set it on your altar, you can. It's really whatever you want to do. So I just grabbed this off the bookshelf. This has only been up there for a couple of days. This little lemon right here, it's a little soft still on top, so I know that's got some more drying up to do. But some of these, like this one, that's actually developing there. You can kind of hear it. It's developing a little crust, which means it's working, okay? And I will check these usually every couple of days. Sometimes I'll forget all about it and I won't check it for like a week. Usually that's because it's working. But you can kind of check it by, let's see. As you can see, there's just like a little, see how it gets all hard on top like that? And you can kind of lift up your lemons and kind of look at them underneath and see what it's doing. There's nothing moldy there. So it is working. This lemon should dry up just fine. I've usually had really good luck with this one. I think there was only ever one time when it got a little moldy. And when that happens, all you do is just repeat it again. If these lemons start to get moldy or mildewy, that just means you probably need to do it one more time. So you just chuck this whole thing, get a new lemon, you've probably still got plenty of salt, and just redo the spell. That's all you have to do. The only time, like I said, I only ever had it go bad one time, and when I redid it, they dried out fine. So a second time is usually all it takes. But that's really all there is to it. It's a super easy spell, and I think that you guys will love this one. It's a good way to break up any negative energy that is over you, that you feel like is oppressing you in your life. It's a nice little kitchen witch spell that anybody can do. That's gonna go back on my shelf as soon as I'm done shooting this video, and let it just continue on. Whatever you do, when you're finished with this spell, do not throw this into your compost if you're a compost person. Seriously, just throw it in the trash, because that is way too much salt for you to put in your garden. It will not be good. Just toss the lemons, throw them away. If you're under a really bad run of luck and you think that it was someone casting against you, you can even take the extra precaution of taking your lemons and your salt, putting them into a brown paper bag, drive them far away from your home, and dispose of them in a public trash can. That's easy enough to do, and it's an extra precaution. Under most circumstances, you can just throw it away. It's no big deal. And wash the salt, literally wash it down the sink. As you do this, you visualize all the negative energy washing away down the sink. Easy peasy, man. No big deal. Another solution to the clearing and uncrossing problem are these candles that I make. I have these in my Etsy store. It's got symbols around the outside of it for clearing and uncrossing. Some of these are symbols that I've drawn myself. Some of them are old magic symbols that are in the public domain. But anyway, I do have these, and this is a reusable jar. So what you love about it is it comes with a candle that I have dressed with clearing and uncrossing herbs from My Witchy Kitchen to You. Once you have burned that candle out, you can replace it with, you know, tea lights and sprinkle your own magical herbs on them. But then you have the jar still, you know, in place, and you can use this again and again and again, which is really nice. You can burn a clearing and uncrossing candle if you like in conjunction with the Lemon and Salt Uncrossing spell, but you don't have to. These are all options. There's lots of different ways to do things, and this is just a couple of the ways that I do things, and I hope that it helps you. It's generally a good idea once you have done a clearing and an uncrossing to follow that up with some kind of magical protection. You want to increase the wards that you have around your house if you have them. If you don't have magical wards around your house, this is a really good time to do that. I will cover this in an upcoming video, some different ways to ward your house, to protect your energy and the energy of your home. I think in the future I would also like to share with you my kitchen witch version of the Fiery Wall of Protection spell. This is one that I've used with great success, and I have created the spell elements for some of my friends to use, and they've used it with great success. So again, witch tested, witch approved, and that one will be upcoming in the future. If you decide that you are going to try this Lemon Uncrossing spell, drop me a comment below. If you have any questions about it, definitely reach out and drop me a line, because I'm happy to answer your questions. And sometimes there's other people in our community here that will also have some input too. So definitely don't be afraid to reach out if you have questions about cross conditions and how to get yourself uncrossed. And if you have any other ideas for uncrossing spells as well, definitely let me know. If you decide to share any photos of this spell in progress and you post it on social media, tag me, because I would love to see those photos. And I think the other members of our community would love to see that too. Once I figure out how to do it, I might start sharing some of your photos on my videos, but I'm still kind of a noob, so I'm working this stuff out. Here are some more videos that I hope that you enjoy, with lots of more tips and ideas. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, please make sure you do that, and have a great week. Love all of you guys, and remember, as always, to be your magic. Take care.